This is our post-game press conference after tonight's UCLA victory over Long Beach State 3-2. Coach, if we can have an opening statement to begin.
Yeah, first and foremost, want to thank UCLA for coming out. It was their very first match of the season, so we were excited to host them and play another great team. We got to thank Long Beach Nation for coming out and supporting over 2,000 fans for the second time out of 3 matches this week. So we're so thrilled to have that. This group is special, and I hope we get more questions about it, but to watch them come out every single point and compete like they're in it and they're all in is really special. And I don't think we see that a lot in youth sports. So I'm just so incredibly proud of this group. And of course, you know, we wanted the win and there were opportunities for us to have it, but our coaching staff feels like we're in a really good spot.
Coach, you've seen some really encouraging stuff so far against ranked opponents. Obviously, you know, stormed out to take the first set against Stanford. Today, you know, pushing to the brink of that 5th set. Just how do you feel? Of course, you know, the goal is to get the win, but how do you feel about just how your team has started and what is the extra thing to get over the hump that you guys can get throughout the season?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things we could look at what the extra bit is, but we talk a lot about stacking wins in our program, and that the wins don't mean literal wins. It means the process and what is our win that day? What is our win that moment? And I think there are so many wins for us in this 5-set match, but also in the weekend, on and off the court. To watch this team rally together under some, you know, difficult situations has been really, really good for us. So I think in terms of stacking wins, there's just some runs that if we can stop the bleed a little bit sooner and make a little bit better decision, we're a young group, we're figuring some stuff out. So I think if we can stop those bleeds a little bit sooner, we're talking about 2 points away. So it's really important to us that we just focus on that and not look for these big answers that are out there.
So Logan, first, congratulations on winning Big West Freshman of the Week last week.
Thank you.
You know, for a great start, 17 kills against Oregon State, another great game tonight. How do you feel about just, you know, the frustration of, you know, coming so close to a huge upset against a ranked team, but just how do you feel about how your team is looking so far to start the year?
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously a hard match, and I think we fought really hard. So to lose that game, I mean, obviously it's not the outcome anyone wanted. I think, like, personally for myself, there's a lot of things in that game that I would like to improve on. But as far as a team, I think the girls are always the same. Our energy is always the same, and I really appreciate the culture that we have. So moving forward, I think that I'm going to clean up some of the things that I do, but I think all around we have a good squad. So, yeah.
Coach, obviously, you know, it was the return of Zaina tonight. You know, a lot of emotions with that. You know, she was the 6th player to reach 2,000 assists here. Of course, the Big West Setter of the Year in 2023. When she checked in, she didn't check in until late in the first set. You could hear the crowd kind of, you know, just the recognition and just like the respect for, you know, what she did in, you know, a Long Beach uniform. How was it playing against her and just, you know, being on the other side of that?
Yeah, it was great. We love welcoming Zaina back, and it's really special for us to have that opportunity. It's so much fun for our team too, like being able to chat across the net and, you know, poke some fun. She knows our habits, we know hers, and so that was really fun for us. But also I think just leaning into the scouting report and trying to do our homework. Our staff worked so hard the last week to piece together a scouting report because they haven't played any matches. There's nothing to scout, and they're a total new team in that sense. They have, I think it was 4 transfers potentially starting for them. So there was a lot of work that our staff put in this last week to be able to scout that stuff, and that was a big part of why we were able to go the distance with them.
Hey, my name is Matt from the 562. Just a question for you. Obviously, a 3-day weekend. You guys have a big competition against some talented teams. How was it for you? How was the energy? Obviously, against Stanford, you guys, you know, got up the first set, and then you guys weren't able to come back. Tonight, you guys were able to tie it and then force a 5th set. For you, how does that energy kind of build what you guys are going, especially so early in the season against talented teams?
I mean, it's great. Obviously, playing like such high-level teams is always fun, like getting to compete. And I feel like our team, we're just all so close and like supportive of each other. We all give each other confidence, and that helps us all just like play better. So I'm really excited going into the rest of the season. Like if we did this so like early in the season, like we're going to keep getting better and better, and I think we're going to get some really good wins this season, and I'm just so excited to play with them.
And Coach, you mentioned, seeing the wins. What were some of the wins that you took from this weekend? Obviously, three games. What'd you see, and what were some of the wins that you can take early?
Yeah,
on?
I think the really obvious one, we've heard it in every single post game interview, is just this team and this culture, and to have that in such a healthy spot going 1-2 this weekend against really tough opponents is the biggest win for us. Because just as Annabelle said, I can't say it any better. If we are able to take how we played this weekend and apply it to other opponents the rest of the year, we're going to be in a really good spot. So that's a really big one. And then there's some things blocking and D-wise that are going to be really specific for us to work on, but it's also a really quick transition. We have an off day tomorrow, which is much needed for us. And then we travel the next day. So some of that stuff we'll learn as we go, and we'll adjust in match. But as always, this program runs really well with head on a swivel. So we're making changes as we go. Matt.
Annabelle, can we talk about you transferring over to this program, and then is there much of an adjustment for you in a quick offense? Don't know how much quicker it is from Boise State, but was there an adjustment period for you, and how was that?
There was definitely an adjustment period. The offense Long Beach runs is so fast compared to like any other team. So it definitely took me like a little bit to get used to it. But I feel like once I did get it, it's like, oh my gosh, it's so great. Like the fast offense, it really just helps us like get small. Well, obviously we didn't win tonight, but we did really good against a really good team. And I feel like our fast offense is part of that. So adjusting to it was a little difficult, but once I got it, it was great.
I do want to shout her out. That's a great question, Matt. I think when people transfer in, there's always this, am I going to make that change or am I not going to make that change? And it was really cool to watch Annabelle, go through those changes and be super persistent in it, because it's not easy for anyone. You ask anyone that comes into our program, whether they're a freshman or a transfer, they go through a really, really difficult time. And like any learning process, it's not pretty, but to see her be resilient through that has been really special.
Logan, for you again, 17 kills again. And you already talked about how this team has gelled, how you guys have been able to pick it up. But if you can describe maybe those moments where you guys did get into ruts and, on Stanford, after losing a couple of sets, that fourth set didn't go your way either. But this time, that fourth set, you were able to rebound. What was maybe that transition, and how were you able to bring that attitude back up and win?
Yeah, I think, and I know I talk about the culture every single time I answer a question, but I think that that's really like a huge part. And when we find ourselves in ruts, like trusting in each other and, helping each other out, to just play our system and play our game. And, I think that our team just works well together and finds a way out.
I think to that point, what Logan's articulating also, like, it was really cool to see this group just be persistent no matter what the point was or what game it was. It felt the same, the hunger, the desire to score that next point. And I think that came to fruition in the fourth set, where it's really easy to feel like you've won it at that point after winning 2 sets in a row, and to see the grit that came from the group overall, which is, talking about a new group early in the season, it's hard for any group to feel that persistence at the end, but watching it throughout, like even at the end of the 5th set, I think there were times where we could have felt defeated and given up, and to see them like grind through that and keep swinging is really admirable.
Question for you. After the great summer representing Canada, becoming the best opposite in the Pan Am U21s, and having this big weekend, then now getting the Big West Freshman of the Week. What are your thoughts so far of 2025? Has it been a good year for you?
I'm very excited. It's going pretty well, and I just hope for bigger and better things and keep pushing myself. Like I said, I think there's definitely still a lot I need to work on. So I'm just excited to keep going, and especially like Annabelle was saying, like it's only the beginning of this season, and like I think I'm off to a good start, so I'm excited.
And this is a question for Natalie Regan. The talent is obviously there with this team. You've just unfortunately caught a couple of bad breaks against Stanford and UCLA. What are some like positives that we could all look forward to going into next week and beyond when it comes to this amazing Long Beach team?
Thank you, Taryn. A lot of compliments in that. Yeah, there's a lot of positives that we're looking into. And I think the biggest one we've talked a lot about is just the takeaways from competing against these teams. And to be right there against both Stanford and UCLA says a lot about this group. But also, I think we work so hard. Like I have a tough time with the word talent because I think talent does nothing if it doesn't work hard. And for us, like the talent that these girls have shown is really from the grit that they've put in and the work on and off the court to be better teammates, better people, better humans, better people in the community, but also better volleyball players. So I think for us, if we're holding our standard, which is Long Beach volleyball, to play at our level, no matter who's on the other side of the net, then we're going to steamroll some teams this season. And I think that's something that is our goal. And we saw some of that yesterday at stretches. And for us, it's really important that no matter who's on the other side of the net, we're playing Long Beach volleyball. Thank you all.
Thank you.